Hey everybody, it's me, Joshua Tukes. It's been a long while since I did a last video, blog, vlog, however they call it. But I'm back at it again. I'm gonna put out more again, and just a real quick recap on some of the things I've been up to lately. First off, I've completed the first issue of the Fusion. So issue number one of the Fusion is complete. Woohoo! It's 50 pages. It's almost like a little graphic novel, or at this point, a graphic novel at this point. If you haven't read it, go take a look at it. It's at the Fusion Webcomic dot. Well, actually, not the Fusion Webcomic, but the FusionComic.com is the name of the website, so you can look at it. Um, Beyond that, I've been actually doing some revisions to the website, so there might be a few things that are like a little off on the website, but for the most part, a lot of things are like 90% done. I've been, coming across a new website called pagecloud.com, and it really allowed me more access and ability to change and customize the website the way I want to do it, especially without having to get involved with coding and all that, but have the same benefits as someone who did have expertise in coding. Um, Beyond that, there's a few things I want to talk about in regards to, for instance, like shout outs. Shout outs because last year, at the very end of the year in December, I had entered the Fusion. Right when I was finishing up the first issue, I actually got an opportunity to enter into a contest for our superhero webcomics. And the contest was on webtoons.com. Webtoons.com is a website that actually hosts lots and tons of webcomics on there. The awesome thing about webtoons.com, its contest for the superhero webcomics, is that it actually has some really great prizes for people who, if they win, to actually make some really good money, if not, somewhat of a living on making their own cartoons, on their own comics on a regular basis. The grand prize, for instance, was $30,000, and the second prize was $10,000. And the third prize and fourth prize would have been an opportunity to work as a paid feature line webtoons artist. So if you would have gotten that, then that would have been, you know, each month you would have got paid $2,000. Plus, if your comic was really popular and growing, then you could get more money beyond that. One of the cartoonists that I look up a lot, actually follow, is Jason Brubaker. He's the creator of Sithrah. Wonderful artist. The guy used to work for DreamWorks. I met him quite a few different times throughout the past few years. Sometimes I do web chats with him through his Patreon website with a few other followers of his, and it's pretty awesome. He's a really great, very humble spirit, very bright man, and very spirit filled person in regards to like telling great stories and being a great artist. Uh, Now, in regards to the contest itself, sadly, unfortunately, I didn't win. But at the same time, it was so great just to participate in something like that in order to move my stories and my characters further out there for more exposure and just an opportunity to participate in an event like that. So it was really timely. Now, uh, again, I'm so fortunate and I'm so thankful. And this is where I want to do the shout outs to all the people who voted for me, because I got about, I think, 80 something votes during the contest. There was about 500 competitors, so the odds weren't that bad. It wasn't like trying to go for the lotto, so it was great to compete on that level. So I want to give shout outs to a lot of my coworkers at 24 Hour Fitness who had voted for me. Some of my coworkers at Michael's Arts and Crafts Stores. Some students I have that were because I also teach art classes in a few different places, and of course family and friends and church family, so there. And if I'm missing anybody else who just came across it and voted because they like it, thank you too. So I really appreciate all the votes for it and just all the support for the Fusion webcomic. um, you know Also, now that contest is over, I got to see who the winners were for that contest, and congratulations for the winners. Is pretty awesome for them to have won something like that. The Webtoons company, the way the actual voting worked, though, just to give you a briefing on how the contest went, it went purely on votes all the way up until the top 20. So if you got into the top 20 position, then it went over to judges, and the judges were between the people who ran the Webtoons company website, which is actually a Korean based company. They're kind of like the Google of Korea, so they're really big, huge company, very wealthy company. So, I guess some of the people in that company really like, comics. And so they kind of created the division of it called Line Webtoons. And then they brought it over here on the West Coast to the United States, as well as Europe, to kind of expand the cartooning industry in regards to like, more artists and more cartoons. And so, those people who ran that division, they were the judges. But also, another judge was actually Stan Lee, the creator of all the Marvel superhero characters. Well, not all of them, but many of them. The Avengers and Spider Man. So he was actually personally one of the judges, as well as some of the people within his own team, with I think POW Entertainment, or I could be wrong, but I think that's the company that he runs on his own. So that was pretty awesome to have, like, being in a contest where, if you're in the top pick, Stanley himself would look over it to kind of give advice and to decide who the winner would be. That's pretty awesome. But, without me going too further into it, they decide who the top competitors, the top winners would be. They were already decided, and actually, the Webtoons company sent me an email saying they might continue the contest, as in, redo the contest later in the year. So, maybe down the road, at the end of this year, I might participate in that contest again. Uh, with that said, going on to further things in regards to this video, one of the main things I wanted to address in this vlog is talking in regards about my events that I used to go to and that I'm still continuing to go to, because I'm the type of person, because I'm so eager to get involved with the industry of the arts in regards to cartooning and animation and comics, particularly comics, because that's where I'm kind of aiming at with the Fusion, is that I attend a lot of comic conventions, a lot of animation expos, sometimes just big art events as well. And usually, when I go there, of course, for anybody like myself, it's like going to Disneyland. You're like, wow, it's exciting. You get to meet creators. You get to see all this cool stuff. You get to see what the new movie's coming out. So it's really fun. But at the same time, I do treat it like a business decision. I treat it because when I go over there, because I want to get involved with those industries, those where all the professionals are at. And I get to network with them, connect with them, get their insights, get their, like, okay, if I want to do a portfolio review, for instance, and they could look over my work and say, hey, this is your strengths, this is your weaknesses, this is what you want to do if you want to be get involved with Disney, with Marvel, with DC Comics, or whatever big company is out there, or even some of the more smaller companies out there. So for me, ultimately, I want to get myself successful in this type of industry, whether as an independent creator, independent artist, or someone who might, for a time being, work with one of these more established companies. With that said, the main point is that, last year I took it upon myself. I said, hey, I know I tend to go to these events a lot, and usually I'm taking notes all the time. I'm trying to get as much information from these guys as I can, so I could, like, what can I do to expand myself as an artist and expand myself so I could become a professional as well in those type of industries. But also, maybe I could record and interview them for others to check out, so you guys could kind of journey with me and see what I see and come along with me for the ride as I pursue these goals for success in regards to my career in the arts. And furthermore, for people who are like myself in regards to, like, they're creative, they're artists, and they maybe want a little inspiration from another professional artist who's already out there in the industry, or they more in particularly want to get involved and get a job and get their stuff out there in that type of environment, that type of industry. And these professionals, maybe some of them may have said that one or two key words, or just the fact that they are open up to talk about how they do, or what's it required to, like, become successful in these things. So I was like, well, maybe I should record some of them. That's what I did. And throughout a good portion of last year, I did that a lot. The only thing is that, some of these videos I'm going to have to share with you guys, some of them are, like, almost like a year old. And the only reason why that's so is not just because I've been lagging just for the sake of lagging, but it's because I've been taking time to, like, really, first, to get the webcomic done, because I was taking a lot of time and energy to do, and two, to kind of reestablish the my my website so that it could work together as a whole in regards to the Fusion webcomic, and to my art career, and to my art store, and a few other things I have all interconnected with it, so it could all work together rather than having a bunch of things here and there and they're not connected. So you can have one central site if you want to follow my vlogs and look at my comics and look at my art. and also get insight into other things in regards to the industry that I'm posting up on a regular basis on my website. But enough about that, before I go blab on a little too long. Uh, you guys will see pretty soon uh, these videos coming up within the next, few days, if not right away, because I'm putting them out there. And they'll be really simple. They're not long interviews. Usually they're like between a minute to 5 minutes at most. And then furthermore, they, it's like artists just kind of telling you about who they are, what they do, and a little bit inspirational advice for people who want to get involved in the industry. And that's pretty much it. I might do like a little video to kind of give an introduction of it. It kind of gives you guys a little idea of like, okay, what's going to take place, what was I at, and who am I talking to, and then I go straight to the video, and that's it. Other than that, there's a lot of other things that I've planned to kind of put out there, but I'll let you know as they come out. With that said, if you guys hear noise in the background, ignore all that. I think that's like some dogs yapping. Sometimes when dogs like start barking, they all start barking together, and it's like, yeah, 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 yeah. But anyway, it's a whole nother sidebar right there. But anyway, you guys take care, enjoy yourself, and I look forward to hearing you guys or seeing you guys at some time either virtually or in person. Take care.